Right now in Germany, there are villages literally giving away land for free. Not cheap land, not discounted land, free and zero euro. And in some cases, entire houses are being sold for €1 single. €1 for a complete house in one of the richest countries on the planet. This sounds like a scam. It sounds like something that cannot possibly be real. But it is real. And it is happening right now in villages across Germany that are so desperate for new residents, they are willing to give you the land if you simply promise to build a house and live there. Now, before you start packing your bags, there are catches. Serious ones. And I am going to be completely honest about every single one of them. But first, let me show you where these offers exist and exactly how they work. Because for the right person, this is genuinely life-changing. Section 1, WHY, this is happening to understand why German villages are giving away land. You need to understand the crisis they are facing. Germany has a demographic problem that nobody talks about. The country's population is aging rapidly. Birth rates have been among the lowest in Europe for decades. Young people leave rural villages for cities the moment they finish school. They go to Berlin for the nightlife, Munich for the careers, Hamburg for the culture, and they never come back. What they leave behind are villages with shrinking populations, schools that cannot stay open because there are not enough children, bakeries that close because there are not enough customers, fire departments that cannot find volunteers, churches with congregations of 12 people, and local governments watching their tax base evaporate year by year. When a village drops below a certain population threshold, it starts losing federal funding. When it loses federal funding, it loses services. When it loses services, more people leave. It is a death spiral. And some villages have decided that the only way to break that spiral is radical action. Give away the land! Sell houses for €1. Do whatever it takes to bring new families in before the village disappears entirely. Section 2. The Freeland villages. Let me show you specific villages where this is actually happening right now. Starting with Göschitz in Thuringia, population approximately 800 people. The village has offered building plots completely free to families willing to build a home. The plots are typically 500 to 800 square meters. In any German city, this land alone would cost 50,000 to 200,000 euros. Here it costs nothing. The condition is you must build a residential house within a set time frame, usually 3 to 5 years. And you must actually live in it. No buying free land and leaving it empty. No flipping it for profit. You build and you stay. The village provides water connections, electricity, infrastructure, and road access to the plots. Kindergarten and primary school operate in nearby towns within 10 to 15 minutes drive. A regional hospital is accessible within 30 minutes. I connected with a young German couple in their late 20s who received a free plot in a similar Thuringian village program. They built a modest 3-bedroom house for approximately 180,000 euros. In Frankfurt, the land alone would have cost more than their entire house and plot combined. They told me owning a house with a garden in their 20s felt impossible until they discovered these programs. Now, their mortgage payment is 650 euros per month for the house construction only because the land was free. Their friends in Munich pay more than that just for a 1-bedroom apartment rental. Next is the Eifel region In Rhineland, several villages here have offered free or nearly free building plots. The Eifel is genuinely beautiful. Volcanic lakes called Mari dot the landscape. Dense forests cover rolling hills. The air quality is exceptional. And because it sits in Western Germany, the infrastructure is even stronger than Eastern alternatives. Plots of 600 to 1,000 square meters have been offered for free or for a symbolic price of €1. Conditions typically require building a family home within 4 years. Some programs specifically target families with children, offering additional subsidies for each child. One village in the Eifel offered plots free, plus a €5,000 bonus per child under 18 in the household. A family with 3 children would receive free land plus €15,000 just for moving there. That is not a typo. They pay you to take the land. Then there's Pfalzgrafenweiler in Baden-Württemberg, population approximately 7,000 people. This is in prosperous southwestern Germany, not the struggling east. The municipality has offered building plots at heavily subsidized prices. Not always completely free, but at 30 to 50% below market value. Combined with Baden-Württemberg's strong economy and excellent infrastructure, this represents remarkable value. Stuttgart is about 90 minutes away. The Black Forest is at your doorstep. Schools, hospitals, and shopping facilities all function at high Western German standards. Now, free land is incredible, but what I am about to show you next is even more dramatic. We are entering the territory of €1 houses. Entire houses for a single coin. If this video is changing how you think about living in Germany, hit that subscribe button right now. I cover opportunities like this every single week. Let us continue. Section 3. The €1 houses. The concept of €1 houses became famous in Italy and Spain, but what most people do not know is that Germany has its own version. And in many ways, the German version is better, because German infrastructure, healthcare, and legal protections are among the strongest in the world. The way it works is straightforward. A village or municipality owns properties that have been abandoned or inherited with no heirs. These properties cost the local government money in maintenance, insurance, and liability. Rather than demolishing them, the village sells them for €1, sometimes for €0. The buyer takes ownership and assumes responsibility for renovation. The village gets a maintained property and potentially a new tax-paying resident. The buyer gets a house for essentially nothing. Both sides win. Now, here is where I need to be brutally honest about the catches, because the catches are significant, and ignoring them is how people get burned. Catch number 1. Renovation costs are the real price. A €1 house typically needs €50,000 to €150,000 in renovation, sometimes more for severely deteriorated properties. The structural work alone can cost €30,000. New roof, €15,000 to €40,000. New heating system, €8,000 to €20,000. Electrical rewiring, €5,000 to €15,000. Plumbing, €5,000 to €12,000. Windows and insulation, €10,000 to €25,000. A €1 house is not a €1 commitment. It is a €50,000 to €150,000 commitment where the purchase price happens to be €1. Catch number 2. Renovation deadlines are strict. Most programs require renovation to begin within 12 months and be completed within 24 to 36 months. If you fail to meet these deadlines, you may forfeit the property. Some contracts include penalty clauses. This is not a project. You can start whenever you feel like it. Catch number 3. Location is the reason the house costs €1. These houses are in villages that people have been leaving for decades. Employment options locally are extremely limited. You need remote work, self-employment, or a pension. The nearest city may be 30 to 60 minutes away. Public transport is often limited to a few bus connections per day. A car is not optional. It is essential. Catch number 4. German bureaucracy applies fully. Building permits are required for renovation. German building codes are strict. Energy efficiency standards must be met. Heritage preservation rules may apply if the building is historically listed. All documentation is in German. All official proceedings are in German. You need either fluent German or money for a translator and German-speaking lawyer. Section 4. Where to find these offers now? That you understand both the opportunity and the reality. Let me show you exactly where to find these offers. The most reliable source is directly from German municipal websites. Search for the German terms, Baugrundkosten, CK-Kosten, Loss Meaning, Free Building Plots, ORH, User F, RINEN Euro, Meaning House for €1, O, R Grandsto, CKEF, R Familiar Meaning, Plots, for families. Many federal states maintain databases of available plots. Thuringia has an active program through its state development agency. Saxony-Anhalt promotes rural resettlement through regional development offices. Rhineland-Palatinate coordinates village revitalization programs through local Verbans. Specific websites to check include the Thuringia Aufbau Bank for Thuringian programs, Zarandesporo, Taru-Sachsen-Anhalt, for Saxony-Anhalt, opportunities, and individual Gemein websites for local village offers. The German federal program called Landleben, which translates to country life, promotes rural living with various incentive structures. Some villages advertise through German real estate platforms like Immescott24 and Kleinensieg, Sarchifo Grandosto, CK Kostenlos, OR House, €1 on these platforms. Results change regularly as villages launch new programs and old ones fill up. I also recommend contacting the Bürgermeister directly. The village mayor. Many programs are not widely advertised because villages lack marketing budgets. A direct email or phone call to the Rathos in small villages often reveals opportunities that do not appear online. German village mayors are typically accessible and responsive because attracting new residents is their priority. Section 5, who this actually works for. Let me be completely specific about who this opportunity genuinely serves and who should avoid it entirely. This works brilliantly for young families willing to raise children in a rural environment. Freeland Plus, low building costs, means achieving homeownership 10 to 15 years earlier than in any German city. Children grow up with gardens, forests, and genuine community. Schools in German villages follow the same curriculum as city schools. This works for remote workers earning city salaries. A developer earning €4,000 per month in a village where total living costs are €1,200 builds wealth at extraordinary speed. This works for retirees seeking peaceful, affordable living. Low costs stretch pensions further. Clean air and nature improve health outcomes. Community in small villages is genuine and supportive. This works for creative professionals seeking space and inspiration. Artists, writers, craftspeople, and makers thrive in environments with cheap space and natural beauty. A workshop or a studio that costs 2,000 euros per month in Berlin costs 200 euros in a village. This does not work for people who need urban social life. Village life is quiet. Entertainment is self-generated. If you need clubs, diverse restaurants, and constant stimulation, you will be miserable. This does not work for people without reliable income. Free land does not mean free life. You still need money to build, eat, heat, and live. This does not work for people unwilling to learn German. Village Germany runs entirely in German. There is no English-speaking bubble to hide in. This does not work for people expecting a quick flip. These programs have residency requirements specifically to prevent speculation. You are committing to a community, not executing a transaction. Section 6, the real math. Let me put the complete financial picture together. Scenario A is a young couple buying a home in Munich. Average Munich house price 750,000 euros. Down payment required approximately 150,000 euros. Monthly mortgage payment approximately 2,800 euros. Total repayment over 30 years approximately 1,008,000 euros. Time to save deposit approximately 12 to 15 years. Age at full ownership, approximately 65. Scenario B is the same couple using a free land village program. Land costo 0 euros. House construction costs approximately 180,000 euros. Down payment approximately 18,000 euros. Monthly mortgage payment approximately 650 euros. Total repayment over 20 years. Approximately 156,000 euros. Time to save deposit approximately 1 to 2 years. Age at full ownership approximately 48. The difference is staggering. Over 850,000 euros in total cost reduction. Full ownership 17 years earlier. Monthly payments less than 1/4 of the city option. And the house comes with land that in any other context would cost 50,000 to 200,000 euros. Land that was completely free. So there you have it. German villages are giving away land and selling houses for 1 euro because they are fighting for survival. And in that fight, they are creating opportunities that simply do not exist anywhere else in Western Europe. But I want to leave you with the most important truth about this entire opportunity. Free land does not mean easy life. Village life requires self-reliance. It requires community participation. It requires learning a language and adapting to a culture. It requires patience with bureaucracy and commitment to the people who succeed in these programs are not people looking for the easiest path. They are people looking for the most meaningful one. A home they built themselves on land their community gave them. Children growing up in fresh air with space to run. A life where housing costs do not consume every euro they earn. That is what these programs offer. Not a shortcut. A different path entirely. Which part of this surprised you most? Tell me in the comments and tell me honestly whether you would consider village life in Germany. Subscribe now because next week I am releasing a complete guide on how to apply for these programs as a foreigner. Every step, every document, every contact. Hit like so. This reaches people who think home ownership is impossible. In a German village, it is not just possible, it might be free.